Hello creative friends, welcome to another video and welcome to 2022. So this is basically the first video that I'm gonna post on 2022, and I wanted to have full of color page, more or less like the other one, the last one that I posted, that I hope that you liked. So I'm starting the background to kind of to break the white page using some stamping technique. I'm just using a stamp cube that I have on my stage with some leaves in it, and I'm doing a very light impression on the page because I want this one that it has to be just light on the background. And then I choose one image on from the magazine because this is gonna be my focal point, and you can choose any um any face that you like on the magazine. So you can do the same, you can reproduce the same page that I'm doing here in your art journal as well. I was just looking on a face that was looking on one side, and that was bigger enough to cover at least one of the pages. So that's where my start idea. And you can see that now she doesn't have part of the the head, and also she has some letter on her arms, but this doesn't matter because we are gonna cover this one and kind of camouflage, doing some camouflage with the colors. So this page is basically, freedom, I would say. So I'm using my watercolor and just drawing some lines, some curvy lines, and kind of doodling on the page. And I'm gonna speed it up, this process, because this is gonna take forever, and the whole process for me took basically 1 hour. But I speeded up this part because it's pretty long, and I was really free to experiment and put color where I prefer to have in the page. Where I saw some white space, I decided to just put some line. I started with just having a list of colors, and then it's just freedom of doodling in the page. So I'm gonna use on this page rose red, then I'm gonna use scarlet for the red color, and I have deep violet that I did just before, and finally I have also some yellow sienna, and then the black, coal black. So those are basically the color that I'm using, and I'm just doodling around. And apart from the lines, I also decided to add some dot, bigger dot, smaller dot. So it's really basically basic doodling. Yeah, I wanted to have this kind of freedom on the first page of the year. And so after doing all of this with the watercolor, just one thing. So my page here is not a watercolor page paper, but it can take pretty well the color anyway. So you can use, I think, any paper that you have. And with the black, as you can see, I'm trying to rebuild, let's say, the head part that is missing on on the image. And then I'm also trying to cover some of the letters again with the black. But I wasn't sure about using the watercolor on top of the magazine paper because the paper is different. So I wasn't sure about how the watercolor were, if it will stay, let's say, on the paper, on the magazine paper. So I did some tests, and I think it worked pretty well. So I'm using, but I need to be, if you do the same, just pay attention to make sure that everything is dry uh, before putting another color on top, because it's gonna take a bit more longer time. I'm really happy how the page come out, and really it was really liberating. I mean, the process itself, doodling is always, I think, something nice to do. And I was experimenting a lot with my new watercolor brush set that I like a lot, to be honest. This was the first time that I was using, and this is the set is Mimic, from Mimic. Is a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, five brushes, and I just bought on Amazon, and it was not so expensive, and they are working pretty well. And here I'm just trying, starting, let's say, to cover the letters that are there. So basically we are gonna to do some camouflage there with some lines and colors, and in the end you will not see anymore basically. And this is basically the first layer on the page, and then after everything is dry and I'm happy with the first part of the background, then I'm gonna start doing the same doodling process with the more fine brush. So I'm using just some markers, and I'm using OU markers that I recently purchased a set, and it's wonderful. And I'm using the color 50 for the violet, color 40 for the yellow, and color 15 for the rose, and 2 for the red, and also some I have also the gold acrylic paint from Flisea that I like to use as well. So those are the markers, and then I'm using some Posca marker as well. So this is basically what the material that I'm using. I decided to add some makeup to her, to her eyes. So I'm starting with adding again, this is again only the first layer, so I'm gonna start adding the black and as base, and then I'm just doing some small little dots with the same color that I have in the background. And the idea is to have a lot of dots all around her eyes, but I'm gonna build piece by pieces. But I wanted to have a kind of base coat again with the watercolor, and then on top I will use again the markers to be more precise, because I'm not so precise with brushes in general, and I need a marker. That's me. I'm not so good with the brushes, so I can do some baseline but not fine details, so I prefer to use the marker on that. After doing the first base on her eyes, of course we do the same on the other eye, of course. So I'm trying to do mirror image with the color where I'm putting the colors, and I'm waiting that everything is dry on the magazine page, on the magazine paper. So in the meantime, after the first base, I'm gonna focus on the background, and I'm gonna use the marker to add some lines, some dots, because I want to have the page full of colors. And as I was saying about the Ohuhu marker, that by the way I love them, I'm using also some Posca marker, and those I just bought recently a set of 5 colors, and those work very well on top magazine pages, and you will see me using a lot of time in the future. So in the meantime, I'm doing all the things in the background, and now I'm trying to cancel, let's say, the letters that she has on the arms, doing again some lines here and there, intersecating each other. So in this way, everything is you cannot see anymore basically that below this part there were some letters from the brand. To hide a bit better the line, that the cut line of between the magazine paper and the rest of the page, so I decided to add some lines with the black marker. This is again the Who marker, and starting from her hair and then going down like she's having a ponytail or something like that. And I like this escamotage, let's say, and then adding other few doodlings here and there, and of course I'm doing again hiding as much as possible the letters from one side of the page, and I will do similar style also on the other side of her back. Having said that, then I think I waited enough, so now the base part of the base watercolor that I put on her eyes is now dry, so I can add some more details, and I'm gonna add the details again with the markers. So the idea of her makeup, I saw this makeup on a picture on Pinterest, where the lady has a lot of dots, different color dots around the eyes, so I decided to reproduce some similarity, let's say, on her on this page. So I'm just adding a few dots here and there, try to mix the color as much as possible. So I'm starting with the purple and doing dots, different size of dots, and going on top of the watercolor base that I had below. Of course, with the Ohuhu, it will not show a lot on top of the watercolor, but when I use the Posca, you will see the difference. This is very very bright, and the Posca pen will cover anything that you have below. So this is, I think, is great for magazine art, and I think I'm gonna use really a lot. And so I'm just doing some dots, bigger and smaller, using again all the same color that I was using in the background, and then I'm gonna add also some black lines and also some white dot with the Posca, and trying to add some white dot and doodling as well on the background. A small tip in the meantime, you see me moving around the marker as you can see here. I'm doing this one because in this way I can use as much as possible the color that I have on the tip of the marker, and before, let's say, is the tip of the marker is dry out, because sometimes it can happen, and then if it's dry out you just need to push those type of marker on a piece of paper, and it will and the color will flow again. This will happen for Posca markers, but anyway for any acrylic marker that you may have. Now I'm while I'm doing those dots and relaxing a lot, I will put some music for you, so then we will I'll catch you later. At this point, the page is almost done, but I wanted to emphasize a bit more the high of this girl, so I'm adding some more black around and intensify the makeup, and also adding some mascara on the eyelashes. So it's time for the mascara for her as well. After doing that, I'm then focusing on the quote, so I decided to write be a pop of color in a black and white world. and I like it. I think it was fine with the page that I had, and I'm just first writing with fine marker, and then I'm just going on top with the black Posca that marker that I was using in the background, and I'm adding some highlights with the white. And basically this is the page, and I hope that you like it, and I will put in the end, as always, some close-up picture of the project, of today's project. I hope that you will get inspired, and you will replicate maybe this page on your journal as well, and I wish you all wonderful 2022. I really hope it's gonna be better than the last two years that we had so far. And that's it. So see you soon for next journal page. Bye.